This is the Halftime Show with Omar Adori on Pulse 95.
Salam and welcome to the Halftime Show with Omar Adori. I am your host, covering everything sport, international and local. Right, what a treat I have in store for you today. Now, the first time he came on the show, you guys messaged me and told me, listen, you have to bring him back. He was amazing on the first time on the show and more relevant to a lot of the situations been happening recently in the world of football. It's only right I bring on the gaffer himself. Avram Grant is on the show today, and what a show we have in store. Now, I know you might want to hear a lot about Chelsea, but I actually want to hear more about what he's doing at the moment, because there's a lot of things very relevant to the mental side of the game, and also from speaking to Harvard and doing lectures all around the world. Avram Grant is super active, so we're going to be talking to him about what he's doing at the moment, what's happening at Chelsea, and also something you might not know, who better than the man with the best win percentage at Chelsea over the last decade or so to be able to tell us more in the world of football on the only place to be at 3, the Halftime Show on Pulse 95.
This is the Halftime Show with Omar Al-Duri on Pulse 95.
It sure is that time. It's the Halftime Show with Omar Al-Duri. I am your host, covering everything sport, international and local. Thank you very much for connecting with me on this fine Saturday afternoon, as we say, the only place to be at 3. And you know what? I think the conversation between me and this next guest on the way here was just as interesting as it's going to be on the show, because we spoke about a lot of things. Now, again, I call him the gaffer. So with the gaffer, with Avram Grant, normally there's so much more to him than just football. And a lot of things he was talking to me about: family, personal experiences, perspectives, mental health. So many things almost made me feel I wish I had the microphone in there while we were talking. It was fantastic stuff. Avram, welcome to the show.
Welcome. Thank you very much. It's my pleasure. Really enjoyed it last time. I am sure I will enjoy this time.
Yeah, I mean, you set the bar high after the last episode, so I'm sure this one's going to be just as good. I know everyone wants to hear about Chelsea, but we're going to save that for later because there's a lot of good things we can talk about. But before we talk about Chelsea, boss, tell me about the mental side of things, especially when you do a lot of lectures around the world, and you mentioned Harvard as well. When it comes to these things, what do they normally ask you about? And how do they ask you to relate it to football? Because you mentioned that in the car on the way here.
No, I started to relate it to football a long time ago, because I found out that you can take a lot from the football to other businesses. Because first, in football there is a lot of emotions, and second, this is the biggest, I think, pressure environment on the world. Not because in other businesses there is no pressure. In your business and others there is also pressure, but here it's everything under the spotlight. Because when you do business and you do other things, it's you by yourself. Here I'm not by myself. As a coach, as a player, there is supporters, there is media, there is owners that came from the business, and it's very interesting that after 2-3 months they think that they're experts in football. Do you know that? So everybody thinks that you know everything, and especially after the game.
Yeah.
Call it. So when you are in this big pressure environment, you can take a lot, because I think you can see the true character of a person under pressure.
And you mentioned character and person. Now, when it comes down to that, how do you stay stable and balanced when all these things are happening around, with all these pressures from different places, when you're managing players of high profile? Let's say someone like Didier Drogba, as you said earlier. How is that as a coach? How do you manage those people?
I say to myself, and when I say also to young coaches, I know there is a lot of noises from outside and from inside, by the way. From inside sometimes there's is more, even more big things than from outside, because outside is outside, but when there is people from inside that started to shaking the ship, as I said, this is so I say to them, the first thing that you need to think is to take professional decisions. I know that there is politics and other things in this, but the decision need to be completely professional. What is good for the team? What is good for the players? How can we do well? How can we win the game? Because this is a game of winning. Like in life, you want to be successful. Yes, in life, everybody wants to be successful.
Yeah.
If Omar and me and you will go now in the street and we'll ask people 3 questions. Do you want to be successful? Or do you want to be happy? Or even if you don't make money, if you find me one that will say one of the questions, no, I will give you whatever you say. So what's happened is the different what people say, and you say, and you can learn it a lot from the football. So the decision need to be what is best for the team, what is best for the players, and don't listen to other noises, because other noises can make you confused. But in the other end, you need to choose the right staff that they will give you their opinion, because it's when people say it's a teamwork between the staff. It's very difficult to manage football now, but it's the best challenge I ever did in my life.
Is one of the hardest things when you're coaching a team silence or quietness in a dressing room?
You mean, sorry?
So when you're in a dressing room normally, because everyone can talk and everyone can add their opinions, and sometimes at the same time you miss opinions. Is one of the hardest things in coaching is actual getting them to listen to each other, to go silent.
Yeah. In the dressing room is a little bit more easy, because it's me and the players, and the conversation can go as if I may say, as I want, or as I think it's the right thing to do. I like when people say their opinion, as long as they know there's only one man that takes the final decision. The problem is the noises from outside that come to the players, come to the agents, sometimes not come to them, some to the people around them. And they are very young players, and they say to them, "Oh, this man said to do this man said to do this man," and sometimes they forget that the only thing that they need is to perform. And as you mentioned before, you can take a lot of these things for their business and to other side, how to concentrate, how to focus on the right things, and not listen to noises from outside. And in football, there is a lot of noises. Trust me.
Oh, yeah.
You know how many people suggest me which team to pick, which tactics, which this, and they also say to the players, and remember the agents around the players and the families and everything. And you was in football, you wasn't with the team, you know the difference between the players that are playing and the players on the bench. So it's a big challenge in football, but it's a big challenge also for me, because I need to fight the right things, how we will do well. And I will tell you a secret. It's a factor of winning, but not even one team in the world won all the games. Not even
Very
one.
true.
So it means that during this journey, you need to recover from things. You need, when you are doing well, to be careful. You are not. It didn't finish yet. And this is, I think, even in life, because in life everybody have ups and downs. How you deal with the ups and how you deal with the downs.
Absolutely. How have you approached the situation when the outside influences have tried to influence your dressing room?
It depends, because in the dressing room I have, let's say, 25 players, between 25 to 30 players in the squad, and each one of them is different. So it depends what is the situation, what's happened, and who is the person. Some players are very, very strong, and some players, even stars that you think that are strong, they are not so strong. They are a little bit weak, and it depends on the noises from outside. And I can tell you, but there is a lot of influence from outside about the players. Even they say no. By the way, there is a lot of influence from outside and the owner. I think the owner is more. The owners are more influenced from outside than the players. And I can feel and smell and see that many decisions of the owners come from because of the people from outside, not because they want to do that.
Yeah.
And I think today you need also to make. If I could make school for owners, I would do that, because
Very
I think they
good point.
damage the team, and when they damage the team, they damage themselves. Even they're doing a lot of good things. They put money. They want to do everything, but this is the only business in the world that people can come, and after 3-4 months they think that they know everything. I'm in the football business more than 45 years, and I still feel that I don't know everything.
Yeah. And when you do come into a club with a strong owner, do they tell you they're going to have an influence in your decisions early on, or is it something that grows within time?
No, and I will tell you like this. I'm saying it also in my lectures, I said it's like a honeymoon in the beginning. So everybody is happy, everybody is want to do the best for the team, everybody, the staff, me, the coach, the owner, everything. We set some strategy. I know what the team need, what they can afford. Chelsea is not Portsmouth, and Portsmouth is not West Ham. By the way, my big mistake was that in the beginning I didn't feel that they don't want to give money and everything. I thought because in the beginning everything is honeymoon.
Yes.
And then started the problems with the results, because you cannot win all the games, and then you can see that after, let's say, 2 losses, one owner is very calm and the other is very nervous, and the others have influence. And I tell you, I was in the boxes of few owners. If we spoke about the influence about the players, I say about the influence about them. I wasn't a big owner, I will not mention his name, and his friend, the oligarchs, came to say to him, the coach lost it. In the beginning, I saw that he lost something. I said, what did he lose? He said, he lost it because his substitute was not so good. I said, so you think every substitute will be good? Because people that are not on the football don't understand. This is a very emotional game. This is the only business in the world that 1 + 1 is not 2. So you need people with experience that will deal with everything. And we see sometimes when you see young coaches that there is no mature people against them, near them, it's not so good. And if I may say about myself, the best thing that I did, when 30 years old, they gave me the chance to be in the Premier League in my country, which was huge. And I took an assistant that was 25 years older than me. They asked me, what do you want? I say, I have a lot of experience. So I want his opinion. I didn't pick his opinion all the time, but I think so this is a job with a lot of influence. But like in any other job, even when you come to make a business, I know that when you come to buy something, some people say to you it's good, some people say not good. You need to calculate and take your own decision. But in football, I can tell you that the decision need to be pure professional, pure. And
Absolutely.
Then what the other things?
I told you it was going to be good. That's the first segment out the way. We're going to play a little song for you now, and we'll be right back after the break. Enjoy it, guys. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
This is the Halftime Show with Omar Adori on Pulse 95.
Salam, welcome back to the Halftime Show with Omar Adori. I am your host, covering everything sport, international and local. Thank you very much for spending your fine Saturday afternoon with us here on Pulse 95 in the heart of Sharjah. I got to give a special shout out to, if I can pronounce the name right, Gaffer, let me know. Romy, see, I had the pronunciation as well. Romy, who we spoke to on the way here. Yeah, that's the boss's
She gave
daughter.
me the permission to come here. My daughter.
There we go. Well,
she's 24, but she's my boss.
I have her to thank then, and Danielle as well, your son. So thank you very much for the lovely children of the Gaffer who are tuned in and locked in with us. Now, Gaffer, I have to say, it wouldn't be right for me to have a show with you on, especially under the circumstances of everyone is talking about Chelsea right now. And among those things that people are talking about is what's happening at Chelsea and what goes on behind the scenes. I will share something with the audience that I saw you about 2 weeks ago. And we train at the same place. Shout out to Safe, by the way, and Transform, who allows us to train there. So we were training in the same place. And then I looked at you, you gave me this smile. And I said, how you doing, Gaffer? You said, I'm doing good. Always good to see you, Omar. And then you said, just don't ask me about Chelsea. Okay. So clearly you knew something was happening. What's been happening at Chelsea?
No, first I told you this because if you remember, I did a good drills and I was in a good shape in the gym. Tell the people that I was in a good gym and a good shape, because my aim is to go back to play football.
Yes.
And yes. No, I don't know what to go behind the scenes too much. I read in the paper a lot of things, and even I say in the media that people call me and say you have the best percentage of winning, and then it was one time in the media that I'm going to come to work alongside with Frank, and then I will be until the end of the year. Then
was there any truth in that, by the way?
Nobody spoke with me about this. Nobody spoke with me about this. I heard that people in the club talked about this.
Yeah.
And sometimes people have interest to give it to the media, from different reasons, which I can guess why.
Yeah.
But nobody approached me. To tell you honestly, you don't need to be a genius to know that something happened in Chelsea, because every day was in the media something there, something here, something there. Maybe Frank will be there, maybe Frank will not be there. And at the end of the day, many things happen in Chelsea, the rumors become true, and there is a new coach now.
Do you feel that, before we move on to the new coach, do you feel that Frank was given a fair chance at Chelsea?
I think, look, they first they gave him the chance, and he was 1 year. Last year he was the coach, and this they gave it the chance. I think I said more than one time that Chelsea need to check themselves, how they pick the coaches. Because when you pick a coach, it doesn't mean that you pick also a good coach or a good manager. You pick a philosophy.
Right.
If I now need to decide between Alex Ferguson, Arsene Wenger, Jurgen Klopp, Jose Mourinho, or I gave you, and Pep Guardiola, each one of them is different. It's amazing. 6 biggest coaches. So you need to do not just to take a good coach, what is good for the team. Pep Guardiola is good for these things. The other Jose is good for other things. Everybody have other philosophy of football. Wenger changed Arsenal because he came with one philosophy. That I remember that I spoke with David Dean about this. Why did you take him? Because I didn't want that they will say again boring Arsenal.
Yeah.
And I knew that with this guy we can do that. So you choose, don't just the man. There is a philosophy how to treat players behind. And I think in these clubs, Chelsea also need to think, which is the coaches, because no coach is more than almost 2 years. They didn't. It was with Sarri, it was with Conte, it was with other things. And the owner put a lot of money and a lot of efforts. He wanted the team to do well. And so if you choose a coach, you choose a philosophy, you know what happened. You need to be a little bit more patient. And what I can say that it's not only the owner, because in this time of Chelsea, we know that Abrahamovic is not there, so we depend on the information that people can give him from inside. It's not only about the results, because also Man United had the bad results in the beginning of the season, but the people was very close to there. So the people that took the decision decided to continue with Solskjaer. If you remember, all the media said that
he should be out.
He should be out.
Yeah.
So I think in this case, yes, always they need to check themselves. Say why we always have not more than 2 years, or maybe to choose a philosophy that the coach need to be 1.5 years and go home.
Yeah, so 2 points on that when you were talking, that had a light bulb in my head. The first point is, from those 6 managers you mentioned, which one suits Chelsea's philosophy?
If I could choose.
If you could choose,
you could choose, I could choose Jurgen Klopp.
Well, okay, excellent.
I think he is the best. And by the way, that's what I thought many years ago.
Yes.
Because his energy is the way that he's playing football is good. Because the dream of Abramovich also to have style of a team.
Yeah.
Style of a team, attacking and other things. And you was, I think, in my lecture, a dream is a vision. Vision is a target.
Yes.
So when you set the target, you said who will fill the target, which players, which staff, and which owner can win. So all the coaches are good. I like a lot what Wenger did in Arsenal. It's amazing, I remember. But remember, and I like also what Alex Ferguson did there. But remember that Arsene Wenger started not so good this first year. And Alex Ferguson didn't win any title in 3 years. So imagine he was in the clubs today with the owners today. No Alex and no Wenger.
That's a good point, because if Alex Ferguson or Sir Alex Ferguson or Arsene Wenger were at Chelsea, under the policy and the philosophy that Abrahamovic has, they might have not even been able to show their skills to the Chelsea fans of how good they really are in the current world of football. So that's a very interesting point you made.
But I want to say to you once, it's not just Chelsea. Chelsea is more because the Chelsea Abramovich put a lot of money, people say. But the philosophy of Abramovich, as we saw, is with the team is down, let's say 4 or 5 months, the coach is going home.
Yeah.
So the coaches know it before.
Yes.
As I told you, except me that I was. I didn't continue. Even the team was on the way, no doubt. The team was on the way up.
Yeah.
Except me, from different reasons. I say all the coaches so they know it from before. So if I go it's not that the team is choosing the managers. The manager is choosing the team.
Yes.
If you go to a club like Chelsea, you know that this is it. You will get everything.
Yes.
He will give you everything. The owner, and he give it from all his heart. It's not that the players. It's the players. All the facilities around. He's giving you everything. But you know that if you don't well, you will go. So if you don't want, don't go there.
Absolutely.
If you don't want, don't go there. But it's not the Chelsea today. It's many clubs today.
Yes.
Many clubs today. What happened in Man United now, it's a little bit different, because there was patience with Solskjaer, even the thing. But in other clubs also, look, even Tottenham. But Pochettino did very well, and after the year that he came to the Champions League final, second place, after half a year, he was not there. So we cannot also say it about Chelsea today. I can say that if Chelsea was, I would say, a little bit different. Now I think the clubs that have patience are different. Are unique. I'm sorry.
Yes.
They are very, very unique. How many clubs now have patience? How many?
That's a really good point, actually.
And I think that's why you don't see for long-term success. One
last question before we take a break. Do you think if Roman Abramovich was in the UK, that Lampard would be given more time because he'll be able to see things with his own eyes rather than relying on a team when him not being in the country had an influence on that?
I cannot answer these questions because maybe he would take the decision even before or after. I cannot say. But I say in this situation, his information is from the results, from how the team is playing, that he can see in his own eyes. All the other information, because it's not like this. Because why you give a coach a chance when he's not doing well? Because you trust him that he will turn around the team, and this you can see in the training and in the training, and then you see in the dressing room. I remember that when I was a guest of Alex Ferguson, I think in 2001, I remember, and Alex said to me, everything you can see in the training in the dressing room. I remember, I was a young coach from Israel, and he said to me, everything you can see in the dressing room and this. And I can tell you, as a coach, a lot of my decisions was not based on the game. It was based on the training. It was on the basis of behavior of the here you can see the character, here you can see the true things. You can see a lot. So also the decision of the owners is based on this. You know, when you how do you say, far from the eye, far from the heart. So I can say this: far from the eye, far from the right decision.
Very good point. Yeah, I told you. All right, I want to ask you more questions. We're gonna take a break, and we'll be right back after this. Enjoy, guys.
This is the Halftime Show with Omar Adori on Pulse 95.
Salam and welcome back to the Halftime Show with Omar Duri. Thank you very much for connecting with me today. You know, if we didn't have to take a break, we'd be talking all throughout the hour. Some incredible stuff behind the scenes as well. And thank you very much for all those who are tuned in on the Instagram Live at Omar Duri. Make sure I've left Avram's tag on Instagram. He's quite active on there. Make sure you follow him as well on Instagram. Right, so we've spoken about the mental side of things. We've spoken about Chelsea. There's a couple of questions that have been coming in. I'll take your question, Hassan, first. He said, Man United were patient with Oli. In the end of the season, United didn't win anything. Will United still be patient with Oli and keep him? Question to Avram. What do you think?
I have a good answer for this.
Go ahead.
It's as I said again, I cannot answer this question. They need to answer because they are with the team. They need to see a few things. If the team developing as a team and as the individuals.
Yeah.
If they are good, if we develop them, and this is the job of the coach, a good mentality. I will tell you an example. I think 8 years ago, Bayern Munich, Jupp Heynckes was the coach. They lost the title to Dortmund. They lost the cup.
Klopp was managing at that time, correct?
Klopp, yes. And they lost to they lost the Champions League final to Chelsea, which was very unique because there was, if you remember the final, it was 21 corners for Bayern Munich, one corner to this. So I know many owners that we say, we are Bayern Munich, we lost the 3 titles, the coach will go home. But they took a decision, I spoke with Rummenigge and others, they said that he will continue because they think that he is the guy that is inside, so he knows what he did wrong and how to make the 10-20% extra that will take the titles. A year after, they won the cup, they won everything. They won everything. So it doesn't mean if you take titles or not take titles. It's mean if you see, then the management need to be with a good eye. And that's what they need, a good director to sit and say, oh, he is the man that can do that. Yeah, I know. It's like many. You remember the Jupp Heynckes? Yes,
of course. Yeah.
I know many owners that will say, "Oh, we lost everything. Go home." But they took a decision that, if you remember, Alex Ferguson started 2-3 years, didn't win anything. But the management saw a lot of progress and say he will take titles. I don't think that they could imagine that we'll take so many titles, including Champions League final that they didn't deserve against me by penalty. But luck is part of the game.
Yeah.
So what I want to say, you need to be inside and see. It doesn't matter if they take titles now or not, because Man United need a club that from 10 years need to take 10 titles. I see in all of this. They need to take titles. So they need to decide if he can do that.
Again, I'm thinking about all these things, and I'm gonna probably send these questions to you right after the prayer. But there's a few things I want you to think about while we go into the prayer. First thing is, patience is a dying breed in the modern game. Coaches like Arteta, Solskjaer, and even previously Frank Lampard have suffered from the pressures of the modern game. If we had fans, do you think they would be more pressure or less pressure? We're going to take a break. I'm going to let you think about that, and then you can give them your answer.
I need to think about it.
Okay.
But I will tell you from now on, in any case, I prefer that the stadium will be full.
This is the Halftime Show with Omar Al-Duri on Pulse 95.
Salam and welcome back to the Halftime Show with Omar Al-Duri. Thank you very much for spending your time with us, and I hope you're having a blessed day wherever you're tuned in around the world, whether it's 95 FM, Pulse95Radio.com, our app, Sharjah Broadcasting Authority, or even if you're watching us live on YouTube. Thank you very much for spending the hour with us. Special shout out to Romy and Danielle as well, because Romy is the boss, as we realized from the boss's boss, that she's the one that helped him come on the show. And thank you very much for everyone who's connecting with us online. Right, okay. Gaffer, no interruptions now. Before the break, I asked you a question, and I said, do you think that the managers such as Arteta, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and recently Frank Lampard would have had a different outcome had there been fans in the stadium?
This is a really good question, because they are former players of the support of the club, so I think they will have more patience for the supporters in one hand, but the other hand is a game of results. If it will be influence about the owners or not, I don't know. I cannot tell you. But we need to think that the owners is also, it's a human being, and there is influence from them, from inside, from outside, like about coaches. There is influence about that. But I can tell you one thing, that I spoke with a lot of players, and it's not secret. I hope the supporter will come back to the stadium, because and then I will not need to think about this question, because for one thing is for sure, it started to be boring without supporters.
Yeah, and you mentioned Cristiano Ronaldo had a chat with you recently, and he spoke to you about the power of the fans, and that sometimes players can actually be energized by the fans, whether it's for you or against you. Can you tell me more about that conversation?
Yes, Ronaldo was here in the ceremony that they gave him the award of the player of the decade, and he spoke about this. They asked him about the supporters, so he said the supporters is very important. Not even in when they are for me, even they are booing me, it's give me energy. Yeah. Because imagine that you have a theater without it's the same, more or less. So the beginning, I was against to play without supporters. Now I think it's a good idea because of the alternative, not to do anything. So it's a good thing. But then the other thing, supporters, and I can tell you as a coach, even you go to a away game in Anfield, and all the supporters against you is an energy, and we need this energy.
Interesting. You spoke about earlier the different types of owners. Now, if you were under, let's say, we're going to give you two examples. One is Arsenal, which is the ownership has been criticized, Stan Kroenke, etc., the US, with plenty of successful businesses, and that's what football is now, it's a business. Would you rather be under an owner like him, where he gives you more freedom to do your job, or would you prefer to be under someone like, let's say, Abrahamovic, who's more hands-on, or Daniel Levy at Tottenham, who's more hands-on as a chairman?
No, I cannot. Even the owners are not the same. As you say, the Americans come with different approach. Russian with different approach. English with different. At the end of the day, but all of them are business people. And when they ask me sometimes, few of them, I say to them, look, this is not a normal business. 1 + 1 is not 2. I remember that one of the owners said to me after 2 years, but you didn't tell me that it's not even 6. Because this is a game with a lot of emotions. This is a game that the players that get even a lot of money depend on emotions, and the emotions come from the supporters and everything. And but at the end of the day, when you need to take a decision, I always say to them, warm heart but cold mind. You need to be with cold mind. I say to coaches, and I say to the owners, and I prefer that when I come to a team, and to speak before about the philosophy, what I believe, what the team is believe, see if it's going together, and then to go with it. And even the things in the beginning are not so well, or in the middle are not so well, stick with it. I can tell you that if it's 1 year to 1.5 years not going well, it's okay. I will live by myself. I don't need the owner who will tell me what to live.
Yeah.
But sometimes, look, when we need the players, when things are not going well, when we need the stars, for example, when we spoke about Ronaldo,
yes.
I need when things are not going well that he will do what he wants. So I need it from owners, and owner need it also from the coaches. It's a teamwork. But if we go back to my lecture, the call of my lecture, win your mind.
Yeah.
And what I say in win your mind, the true character of person you see when you are very successful, that he wants to do more and more and not think that he is God. And when things are not going well, to know that he didn't finish yet and we can continue. So it's a teamwork. It's everybody together.
Yeah, very interesting. When it comes down to win your mind, or when it comes down to you speaking with different coaches, has there anyone out there that stood out for their philosophy, as we mentioned, or their unique strategy when it comes down to coaching? I know you've been to Alex Ferguson sessions, you've been to other coaches' sessions. Has anyone stood out for you in terms of their philosophy and how unique they are as a coach?
What do you mean exactly?
So, for example, when you went to watch a training session, or when you went to meet a coach and you saw the way they do things, did any one of the coaches stand out for you?
Look, when I was young, I decided that I will spend all my time to see coaches around the world, because we like to look about the success, but success is the head of the pyramid. I was very interested about the way to success, what they are doing in the dressing room, how they think before the training, what they think after the training, how they behave in a good time, how they behave in a bad time. And I remember that my first meeting was with you are young to remember this. It was Liverpool with Bob Paisley.
Oh, Bob Paisley. Wow, okay.
And I met Ian Rush, by the way, here in Dubai.
Ian Wright.
Ian Rush.
Oh, Ian Rush. Okay, Rushy.
Rush. Yes.
Okay,
he's here in
right.
Dubai. He's still here, by the way.
Okay.
Tell him to come to the show. He will be happy.
I would love to.
Fantastic person, and he spoke with that about Paisley and everything, about his approach and everything. And it was very, very. I pick a lot of things from him that I cannot tell you that. I learned a lot from the coaches. I didn't took anybody like all the package, because I thought I started with a small team, and then I was in the big teams, and then national teams, and then the God national team. So each one is different, but I learned a lot from it. I can tell you that I remember that Alex Ferguson was very impressed, and I was in the earliest days of him. Not the earliest, but after 5-6 years. It was very how he was in the dressing room, how he can be friendly with the players and then kill them when they need, which I think this is the right things to do. And I will develop with the time. There were 20 years ago it was like this. Now it's different. We came to the area that everything is instant.
How do you think Sir Alex Ferguson would cope up against Pep Guardiola and Klopp in the modern game?
Fantastic. I tell you why. Because I think the biggest advantage of Alex Ferguson is not tactical. It's a strategy, what to do with players, and second, to adapt to a new situation. Alex in the last years was not Alex like 20 years ago. Okay, the basic was there, but remember, he was very tough in the beginning, and in the end, he was when to be friendly, when not.
Yeah.
Even adjust by the tactics. He always bring his assistant coach that can help him in things that he didn't know. So I think, if Charles Darwin say a very good quote that I like. He say, he's not the strongest who survived or succeed. He's not the clever one who is a survivor. He's only the guy that can adapt to a new situation. And I think Alex was the best in things. He could adapt always. And I see today even young players that cannot adapt to the new situation because they think that they are still a player. And this, of course, people with experience have advantage, but still you need to adapt.
Excellent. Now, Gaffer, I can't let you go without asking you about the Premier League at the moment. Is one of the most insane seasons we've had. Outrageous with all these results that are happening from Aston Villa, Southampton, West Ham doing so well. What's your take on the Premier League, and how do you see the league ending?
I think first we are very angry about the corona, but we need to say thank you to the corona. I think the corona have a big influence about the results, about what's happened. I think, for example, Liverpool with the home games could achieve more, not much more, but they can achieve more points. And all these teams, and there is other teams that feel good when without the super pressure of the supporters. Even everybody know that. So, and we talk about in the break about players that feel better when there is no supporters. Most of them want the supporter, but feel better because they don't like the pressure of this. But I think the Premier League is very exciting this year because in the end of the day, we like competition.
Yeah.
And last year we was only one team, and now we have so many teams that can find. It's not also, didn't mention Leicester, that they do a very, very good season. City is showing good. Liverpool still have the players to do that, and the coach. And other teams, I think maybe 8 teams can take the champions.
Who's going to win it?
I have a feeling that Manchester City.
I was worried you'd say Manchester United.
No, I have a feeling that Manchester City, because I don't think they are playing great, but I think they are very stable and they play good football and very stable. But I think they have a big problem now when De Bruyne will miss, and I think this can cost them. And I think this is the opportunity this year of Man United, a big chance.
Really?
Yes.
Who's the dark horse?
I think if United know to play not only about counter-attack and to hold the ball, and play good, they can take the champions.
And some of our listeners here are asking you, what are your predictions for the Manchester United, or the Arsenal versus Manchester United today?
You know what I say to my son? When he asks me, what do you think? I say, I think that Manchester United win, but maybe Arsenal. And can be a draw. It will be a very, very tight game, I think, and very tight game.
Okay, thank you, Gaffer. Honestly, it's been an honor to host you again. I know you're doing some fantastic things out there. Can you share with us any of the projects you're doing, and also where we can follow you? I know I left your tag on Instagram, Avram Grant _. There is any projects coming up?
Yes, we are doing a lot of projects now when coming up. We are starting now. We just started with the Eastern Ground with my friend that is running it because he wants to do it like a center of the mental side. And we have a lot of projects about how to use experience, how to deal with pressure, how to deal in the good days, bad days, and with a lot of tools from any situation. Even I told you about event that was this week for my father, and how to take the positive things and help people to deal with the different situations, including, by the way, in the Corona time, because the Corona is a lot of health problem, but also a lot of mental problem.
Fantastic.
By the way, also economic problems. Yeah.
That too. Thank you very much. What an honor, Gaffer, to host you again. The car journey on the way back is going to be even more interesting after with the statements you've made. Thank you very much for tuning in to Pulse 95 Radio, the halftime show. Remember, I'm back every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. And if you do miss the show, you can check out all of our episodes with the fantastic guests such as Avram Grant on the YouTube Pulse 95 Radio. Have a fantastic day, guys, and stay blessed. Peace.
If you liked this episode of The Halftime Show, drop a like and subscribe.
95.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram for all our daily updates and top stories.